What is up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Brighton preview here on Anfield Agenda. I'm going to do my best to try and decipher the information that Jurgen Klopp gave us today's press conference, pick an 11, go with a score prediction, and see how we all feel about it. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late. Some microphone issues on my end that I had to resolve. So yeah, I know I'm always late, but you should know that is. But you should factor that in. Quite frankly, it's your fault. It's not mine. It's never mine. It is. It's totally mine. Hands up. Right, folks, we are being brought to you today with thanks to our friends at manscaped.com. As always, you can get 20% off and free shipping anything store-wide at manscaped.com using the Anfield Agenda discount code WFM20. You can use that the performance package, anything that your little heart desires, fragrances, body wash, whatever it is that you need. Because I don't know what you need. I can't see down there. You know what I mean? WFM20. Your balls, a thank you. Right, friends, how are we all? So, I know that a lot of people are going to go, but Craig, Mohamed Salah's agent put up loads of laughy emojis, and Craig, Jurgen Klopp said this, this, and this. So let's get straight into it before we go into the predicted 11 and the score prediction. Let me just say this so we can get it out of the way. I stand over every single word that I said previously about Mohamed Salah's contract being agreed. I have no change in stance on it, but I still say what I've said. I don't know when it'll be announced. I don't know the wages. I don't know the term of the deal. What I do know is that it's agreed. Other than that, like I've always said, feel free to question, feel free to ask, feel free to doubt everything I'm saying. You should do that. But I'm not changing my stance. My stance remains the same. So just want to get that out early doors because I know a lot of people are going to be asking me. I've always been open. I've always been honest. I've been as forthcoming as I can be. And after that, it is entirely up to you what you believe. We will push on. We'll go now to the predicted 11, and then we'll come back and we'll have a bit of a waffle, a bit of a chat later on. So right, let me just change over scenes so I can get you to my predicted 11. Right, my friends, here we go. This is the predicted 11 that I think will take to the field against Brighton 12:30 tomorrow. 12:30. That ungodly kickoff time of 12:30. So taking into account a couple of things with this team selection, I had to make a few last minute adjustments myself because, as we know, we hadn't seen Virgil van Dijk and we hadn't seen Dijk and Konate in training recently. We didn't know what that was for, but I think we kind of got a glimpse into why today when Jurgen Klopp at his press conference said that COVID still exists, basically. So we know that Thiago is not going to be available for the looks of it, but reading between the lines, I'm guessing we're not going to have Van Dijk or Konate available because of COVID. That's my guess on this one. So with that in mind, this is the 11 that I think Liverpool will go with for the game. So right, we'll start off with this. No, we won't. Nope. This is why I shouldn't be allowed press buttons. We'll start off with the score. 2-0. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win. It's a punt. It's a guess because these games are 12:30. They make me nervous, and I don't know if I've got reason to be nervous or not. Brighton are in awful form. Haven't won in 4 or 5 games, I believe, and not even haven't won. I think they've lost them all. So they're in dire straits at the minute. But these 12:30 kickoffs make me nervous. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2-0 win. Back three. Obviously, in goal, Alisson, centre-back pairing, has to be Gomez and Matip, quite frankly, if you've got nobody else available. So, Konate out, Van Dijk out, by the looks of it, going off what Klopp has said about the COVID situation. So, with that in mind, I've gone for Joe Gomez and Joe Matip as the centre-backs. Full-backs, as they were, Robbo and Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm hoping that there'll be enough turnaround from the game against Tuesday, Inter Milan, to Saturday. For us, that's relatively long period of time for these lads. So I'm going to go and stick with the usual back two full-backs. Into midfield, Fabinho, Henderson and Elliott for me. Not ideal because I don't like Henderson on the left. So potentially will we see Keita? I don't know if Klopp will put that faith in Keita for this game. So I'm going to guess Fabinho, Henderson and Harvey Elliott. But if I was to pick, I'd probably go Fabinho, Keita and Henderson on the right. But I do think we'll probably see that three in midfield there. So that's why I've gone with it. Fabinho, Jordan Henderson and Harvey Elliott. Up top is where the big decisions have to be made. What happens with Diogo Jota? Bobby Firmino was fully back according to the gaffer. I haven't cared one bit. I've still gone for Luis Diaz on the left, Mohamed Salah on the right, and our man Sadio Mane through the centre. That's what I think will happen. That's what I'd like to happen actually. Outside of the midfield, because I would probably move Hendo to the right and stick Keita in there, but we'll wait and see. I mean, I don't know if I would or not. You know what? I'm second guessing myself as I say it. Yeah, no, I'm happy with my team. I'm not going to second guess myself. There should be a curfew on Hendo on the left to Jack's page. He's not as good. I agree. He's absolutely not as effective on the left hand side. A couple of shouts for Jones in the chat as well. Yes, maybe. I actually think Jones might be more effective against Arsenal. But I'm also hoping to have Thiago back for that game. So for me, Fabinho, it could be Fabinho. Maybe we'll see Curtis Jones. Maybe we'll see Keita. But that's three I'm happy with. But ultimately, I do realise that Jurgen Klopp has to manage the squad time, and these decisions may be made with a bit of advice from the medical department. So let's wait and see. What have we got? Akash. We'll get back to that in 2 seconds, buddy. I just want to finish this preview. Then we'll get right over to the Mohamed Salah contract stuff. I promise you. I won't avoid it. Just give me 2 seconds, Akash. So yeah, that's the 11 that I'd go with. 2-0 score prediction. Could be at. Look, this is obviously just a guess, so nobody knows what's going to happen there. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what 11 you'd like to see. I see Pranav in there, wants a Fabinho, Hendo, Keita midfield, and I will be very happy with that, my man. I guess I'm just kind of thinking about... So we've seen a little period of time where Curtis Jones was taken out of the action for 2-3 games. Then he was brought back into the fold. I feel like maybe we've seen the same with Harvey Elliott. So if you remember, he wasn't even supposed to be in the squad, the matchday squad for the League Cup final. But he was brought in because obviously Thiago picked up that injury. And then he came on to play some minutes later in the game. So I wonder, might this be the game we see Harvey Elliott introduced back into the starting 11 for? But look, we can't afford to do anything but win. It's as simple as that. There's no excuses anymore. There's no more hoping that City falter. It's up to us. We got to just keep grinding out the wins. As Kloppo said, losing is never nice, particularly at Anfield. But if we could afford to lose a game the way we lost it, then yes, that Inter Milan game was probably it. But that being said, I have to say, I'm going to be looking at Mohamed Salah a lot in this game against Brighton. Because if he didn't score in this game, that's 4 games. And for Mo, not for regular human beings, but for Mohamed Salah, the superstar, the talisman in our team, that'll start to make me a little bit nervous going into that week then against Arsenal and against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. So I'm hoping that Mo breaks this mini duck of his, this mini little... this little streak of no goals. And so if he scores on Saturday, that'll relax me a little bit as well, because I'm starting to wonder, are things getting to him a little bit? Is tiredness catching up with him after the AFCON? Has he just been unlucky? Because he hit the post, of course, twice against Inter Milan. And then he did miss a really good opportunity as well early doors in the last league game. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I'm a bit concerned about Mo, I can't lie. About his form, I mean. Nothing else. I'm not concerned about the contract situation. We'll get back to that. Anyway, so that's my predicted 11. One more time, let me run through it. So Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Robbo at left back. Because of the COVID situation, I'm guessing it's going to be Gomez and Matip. Then I've gone Fabinho, Hendo, Elliott with Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. Right, let me just change the scene back to the other news. And we will get over to the chat. So Akash, thank you for the super chat. He said, and I want to talk about this for a second, because I always love to see how people interpret things, because myself and Connor have both interpreted this message from his journal or from his agent or his advisor differently. So Akash said, if Salah's agent's tweet, which if you haven't seen it was basically just a load of small laughy emojis, basically. That's all it was. No wording, just laughy emojis. So if Salah's tweet was aimed at Klopp, then I'm sorry, I don't like that. I love Salah, but no player is above my manager, in my eyes. Now, let me say that I would absolutely agree with that sentiment. The manager more important than anybody, to me, as well. Right now, he's the most important figure at our football club, in my eyes. But how we interpret these things is, of course, open to that interpretation. So, knowing what I've been told, my interpretation of that was... I know something you don't know kind of thing. Like, by that I mean, Klopp said that nothing has been signed, nothing has been dismissed. And I take that as his agent going, we both know otherwise. Now, if people read that as we both know otherwise from a negative sense, I can understand that. I'm just very confident that what I've been told is right. So I'd like to know how you interpreted Mohamed Salah's representative Rami Abbas's tweet, because it is very, very strange again when there's no wording involved. Yeah. And also, I don't understand the point of it from the agent's perspective or from the representative's perspective, because if there are still a little few things that haven't been signed off on yet, this isn't actually. Do you know what? It doesn't even matter because it just doesn't help. It just doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't help Mohamed Salah. It doesn't help the club, and it certainly doesn't help Rami Abbas. So, I'd like to know your interpretation on that one. Dilip said Mane's overall game is horrible. I want Jota starting over him. Well, Mane scored in the last two games, mate. So maybe a little bit more respect towards Sadio. Sorry, I'm scrolling back through the comments here. Nobody's bigger than the club, said Robbie Stonage. I'm going to say something controversial. How about Taki, said Cedric. I mean, it wouldn't have been in my thinking, but I have Taki's elevated up in my thoughts. Let me just say that. From where I thought of Takumi Minamino 3 months ago to the level I think of him at now, I wouldn't be as... I'd be happier to see Takumi Minamino in the starting 11 than I would to see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the starting 11. Fabrizio's just uploaded a video called Salah Not Accepting Contract. Has he? Okie doke. It's a few times Mo's agent has said something stupid. Mane was our best forward last month, said Puskis is a god. Won us the game against West Ham. The disrespect to him by some of our fans is a joke. I agree. Like any other player, Sadio Mane did go through a little dip. It's happened to all of our forwards, if you remember. I mean, Bobby Firmino went through a dip. Sadio Mane went through a dip. Diogo Jota is currently going through a dip, by the way. So for those that said they want Jota to play, hasn't scored in 6, maybe 7 now. So, yeah, I mean, as I always say, I don't care who scores the goals for Liverpool, because I don't follow Mohamed Salah FC, I don't follow Sadio Mane FC, Diogo Jota FC. I support Liverpool Football Club. And once the team wins, I'm happy. I know he scores, but if somebody's... See how he plays, he's too long on the ball, slips over the ball, incisive finishing, ain't really good. I'm for selling him. I'm not hating, I love him. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a conversation to be had about the contract renewals and selling a player. But for me right now, and keep in mind Bobby Firmino is my favourite player, for me right now, the hierarchy of keeping to sell would go Salah, Mane, Firmino. So if one of them had to be moved on in the summer, I would go for Bobby Firmino right now. Because I've enjoyed seeing Sadio through the centre. And yes, he hasn't been his brilliant best, and he doesn't seem to be able to take on a man as well as he once did. But it's not unusual for a forward or an attacking player to start reinventing the game a little bit. Harry Kane spoke about it recently, about how he's been involved as more of a number 10 at times this season. And I think Sadio in that false 9 position, dropping deep, linking up play, yes, it will be frustrating at times, because a lot of what our players do in and around the middle to final third of the park is a little daft touch around the corner or a little drop of the shoulder, and if that comes off, everything opens up in front of us. And Bobby and Sadio have the ability to do that. Diogo Jota absolutely has the ability to do that as well. But I actually feel much more comfortable with Sadio through the centre than I would with him on the left now. I'm very happy with Luis Diaz being our left choice option. Liverpool without Van Dijk is like a bank without a fence. You just know it'll be robbed. Well, hopefully Brighton haven't got enough. I'm trying to keep with the criminal theme here. Haven't got enough Yeah, I just can't think of a pun, mate. Sorry, I'm just too tired. Romano said Salah isn't signing. Okay, Craig says he is. I mean, again, I don't want to pit myself against anybody else because that's not what I'm here for. But up to you. It's completely up to you. I believe. I believe. I believe it'll be done. I believe it's a look. It's not my. I don't want to speak out against anybody else. Not my place. So I'm not going to. As I've always said, absolutely question everything. Question me, question him, question Remy Abbas, question what you see in the club's interviews. Entirely up to everybody to make up their own minds. I'm a fan. I'm not a journalist. Let me point that out again. I'm a fan. I'm not a journalist. Fabrizio Romano is a journalist. You are free to make your own decisions. I'm not going to run anybody down to it. All I ask you to do is just be respectful. That's it. After that, absolutely up to you, my friends, what you want to do. Right, let's move on. I'm just trying to read through the chat here. Right, I can't even. I don't even have WhatsApp open on my phone right now because I have to turn it off when I go onto a stream because of all the people that were trying to ring me when I was on streams and it was interacting with the stream. So I've turned my phone onto what, so I can't even see what Fabrizio Romano has or hasn't tweeted at this moment in time. Now I'll be back tonight at 8:45 and we'll rehash all of this when I've had a full chance to read up on it if you'd like. But I stand over everything I said. I stand over everything I said and the information that was given to me. Now it's up to everybody, I suppose, what happens here in these dragged out negotiations. And let me just say one thing. Let me make one thing really clear. On the side of Mohamed Salah versus Liverpool Football Club, I am firmly on the side of Liverpool Football Club. I want Mohamed Salah to stay with us. I love Mohamed Salah. But ultimately, I don't really... How do I say this? I'm just going to stick with I'm on the side of Liverpool Football Club. That's probably the best way I can put this out there. I'm a Liverpool Football Club fan. I support the football club, not a player. I support all of the players. So for me, again, it's up to everybody what they want to believe. I can show you many images of many journalists telling you we're not going to sign Alisson. I can show you many posts from many journalists telling you we weren't going to sign Van Dijk. Hell, I can show you many posts from many journalists telling you we weren't going to sign Ibrahim Konate. So, again, like I told you when I got my information, just chill. Everything in good time. And if something has changed, which can happen in football, if something has changed, and I'm not being aware that it has, but if, so be it. You know, I genuinely, I thought about this a lot. I've thought about this a lot over the past couple of weeks in the Mohamed Salah situation. I'm trying to be careful with my words here. Um, oh God, I don't want to land myself in hot water. Um, yeah, I think the best way that I can phrase this is if the ink isn't on the contract and what was agreed hasn't been signed, sell him. Sell him in the summer. That's where I am. That's honestly where I am with it. I'm confident what I was told. I'm confident that he should sign the contract. If the contract isn't signed by the summer, sell him. Nobody's bigger than the football club. That's honestly where I am with it. I believe that Jurgen Klopp and the club have made every effort and will continue to try and make sure that this announcement we're all waiting on is announced, but ultimately, if any player isn't happy, sell them. And that's where I am. But I'm telling you, I'm confident what I've been told. That's all I can say. I'm genuinely trying to play the... I'm trying to be respectful here. I'm really working hard trying to be respectful because I made a promise to myself about 3 weeks ago that I'm not going to start going in on people anymore. I'm not going to call out people. I'm not going to badmouth anyone. I'm not going to say anything negative about anybody else because it's not my place. All I can tell you is what I know and what I believe. And other than that, look, it's up to everybody else what they want to talk about. And look, I'll have more information at 8:45 because I will have had a chance to make some phone calls, and I'll be back on 8:45 tonight, and we can absolutely go through this in more detail. And I hope that I will have a better reading of the situation. I thought you were confident it was done. I can't repeat the same thing again. I stand over what I said. I want to just bring you back a little bit for regular viewers of the channel who've been with us a long time. So if you go all the way back to when Virgil van Dijk signed for Liverpool Football Club, if you remember, I said in the summer that deal was agreed. It didn't happen in the summer, but the deal was agreed. He signed in December. So I got a load of grief for something that I knew I was right on. That happened anyway, but it just happened at a later date. Similar thing happened with Fabio Carvalho. I was told the Fabio Carvalho deal was done. You also found out it was done, but the paperwork wasn't submitted in time. So, yeah, that's all I can say. As I said, I ain't a journalist. I'm a football fan. I pass on all the information that I get that I deem credible with good faith. After that, I can't control anything else. I can't control the announcement time. I can't control anything else. That's all I can say. I'm trying to be really respectful here. If you knew where I got the information from, I think you'd be more confident than you probably are. But look, you're absolutely right. You run with whatever you think is right in your own head. Whatever you believe, you're absolutely entitled to that belief. How much is 26 million weekly? So 20 grand a week. 520 grand. 520 grand is, if we're working off pounds sterling, 26 million would be 520 grand a week, there or thereabouts. Well, there's 2 extra weeks, so probably just over 500 grand a week. And can I be really honest with you? I don't want Liverpool Football Club paying anybody 500 grand a week. Genuinely. Just say it then. Ball, how about, mate, you fuck off? I mean, I'm trying to be nice here, Ball McPrebin, but you're being really snotty. So, again, mate, you're here watching me. Remember that. I'm not here to dance to your tune, pal. I'm here to give you the information that I get with good faith. And I talk about Liverpool Football Club, and I give up my time, and I come on here and talk to you guys, and I love it, and I interact with it, but I'm not going to take any of your shit. So, start talking to me with a little bit of respect, my man, or fuck off. Simple as that. What have we got? No way Salah's getting 500k. No player should get... I agree. I don't agree anybody should get 500k at Liverpool Football Club. Not when Virgil van Dijk and our next highest player is around 220. Is it confirmed that VVD is out? I think it is. And let me explain why. So Klopp said that COVID still exists and they have issues with COVID and injury at the club right now. And we also heard that Konate and Van Dijk didn't train. If we're to read between the lines, my man, you know, all I can say is I'm guessing from what he said that we'll see Matip and Gomez. So I'm guessing that we have a couple of COVID cases at the minute, and that obviously due to confidentiality, Klopp can't come out without the players' prior acknowledgement to say yes. So if we work off the basis that they are out, they should be back for the Arsenal game, which would be good news. So it looks like VVD and Konate are the ones with COVID. I mean, Thiago's had it twice that I'm aware of. He'd be very unlucky to get it a third time. And by the way, just to kind of So, I don't want to get in trouble here. Okay. So, to go back to the Salah contract situation, I don't know length of contract, don't know contract amount, but what I do know is it isn't as high as that. So, I was told it was a reasonable figure. And 500 grand a week to me ain't reasonable. So, yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Um, I mean, the more I think, if Salah wants 500 grand a week, sell him. He's not worth 500 grand a week. He's not. 400, yes. 350, yes. 500, 26 million quid a year for 4 or 5 years. That's the club investing. If it's 26 million a year on 5 years, what's that? 130 million pound. 130 million pound, if that's the case. And that's before we talk agents' fees and stuff like that as well. Is this the guy from the Chippy song? How fat do you think I am? Mate, I'm not even half the size of the guy from the Chippy song. Fuck me. Nor am I English. But, yeah. He's worth more than that. I don't think he is, David. But look, I suppose a wage is subjective. You know, to us mere mortals, 200 grand a week sounds like money we'll never see again. For us, mere mortals, like, you know what I mean? So, look, the idea of anybody earning £500,000 a week just doesn't sit well with me as a human being, let alone as a football fan. No, not for me. Not 500 grand a week. I can't in good conscience sit here and say I think that's fair. Wait, you're not English, Scottish? No, I'm Irish. Clearly Irish, my man. Proud to be Irish as well. What's the Chippy song? I can't remember all the lyrics, but I think it was something like, I've conquered all the chippies, I'm never gonna stop. Something peas and gravy, I've eaten all the lot, something like that. I don't remember the exact lyrics to it because it wasn't my fucking song, but yeah, something like that. It was good, it was funny. I pissed myself laughing when I seen it. Right, I'm going to keep staying on for a few more minutes, but don't forget, I will be back tonight on my own at 8:45 because Paddy's over in the UK playing in a charity game. Chris is on work placement today. No, he is. He really is on work placement with Newport City. I think he's doing the the PA announcements and stuff for the Newport City game. Zane said, Craig, after the Inter game, Curtis Jones had received abuse online. Let me just say this, and I don't give a fuck anymore. There are some elements of our fan base that are absolute scum. I say it, and I stand over it. Anybody who gave Curtis Jones online abuse, whether it be racial or not, I don't care. You're a prick. Simple as that. You're an absolute scumbag. You've no place in football. None. I don't get it. If somebody wants to come on an online forum like this and have a pop and say somebody plays shit, that's the place to do it. That's where we have our... This is where we vet. This is where we have our little tete-a-tete. You say it to me, I say it back to you, yada, yada, yada. But to go on and actually at somebody or go onto their social media, one of our players, you know what? One of our young players, one of our young Scouse players, and come out with that, go fuck yourself. That's where I am with that. Like, I'm a gobby fool. I'm a mouthy fella that shouts at players all the time in the heat of the moment on my own platform. Never would it enter my head to go and follow somebody across social media to abuse them. Wow. Why are the 3 out? Ron, it looks like COVID for at least 2 of them, mate. Thiago could be a flare-up of an injury. I'm just trying to think back because there's been a lot of stuff happening lately. Thiago came off and he didn't look injured. But if my memory is correct, I think Thiago, hasn't he recently had a second bout of COVID? I'm fairly certain. I remember when he first signed for us, You know, he couldn't go around the city. Do you remember he had COVID? Um, I'm fairly sure he had it recently as well. You know. I don't think it is an injury. It could just be an illness. Like Matip was out with an illness. I don't know what that illness was. Still don't know. Maybe that was COVID as well. Excuse me. Because remember, yeah, so Matip was out, we were told, with an illness, but he was back relatively soon. So that could have been COVID. And if this is the same thing, I'm thinking that we'll have the lads back for Wednesday. Craig, would you mind Coutinho in the summer as a Diaz backup on 150 grand a week? I think he'll sign for Aston Villa in the summer, in all honesty. Don't Aston Villa have an agreement in place with Villa? They can sign him for £34 million, something like that. Have I been to Anfield? If so, which games? Do you want me to name the 30 to 50 games I've been to, mate? Yes, I've been to Anfield. I've also been to Istanbul. I've also been to Athens. I've been to Anfield for games. I've been to Anfield for screenings of the Champions League games, again, the away games against Manchester City, against Roma. I was there for the game against Sevilla, the actual game against Sevilla. We drew. Yeah. So, is there a reason for your questioning, Mr. Lewandowski? Other than, I don't know, just curiosity? Matip and Gomez should be good enough to beat Brighton. Yeah, well, look, they're good centre backs, and Brighton have problems scoring goals, so um, should be, yes. Were the screenings good? Oh man, after the Roma game when we made it to the final, outside Anfield was mayhem. I think actually, Nat, man, if my memory's correct, it was one of the first bits of content we actually posted on YouTube. Was people outside Anfield after the second leg against Roma dancing on buses. Man, it was great crack. Yeah, it was really, really, really. It was much better than I thought. We went over thinking this could be a bit naff, but it was brilliant. Maybe because we beat City at the Etihad, and then we went and qualified for the final after beating Roma. So, when are you going to be back live on Twitch again? Monday night. Monday night on Twitch for the Palace Manchester City game. Then Tuesday night on Twitch for Manchester United Atletico. And then I'll be back on YouTube on Wednesday for the Arsenal game. Do they still do them? No, I don't think so. I don't. Well, with COVID being as it was, mate, I don't know. Like, we'll find out maybe if we get to the quarter semis again if the club are going to sort them and do them again, because they were really good. And they got bigger, actually, as they went on. So the first one wasn't as big. The second one, they opened up more of the ground. Danny Boy, thank you for putting in Fabrizio's tweet for me, mate. Everybody else was just telling me about it, but didn't show me the actual tweet. So Danny Boy has said, it's the financial issue. I'm told the percentage is not so high for Mohamed Salah to stay at Liverpool. It all depends on Liverpool Football Club. Yeah, I was told differently. But, but, I'm willing to play the game. I'm willing to entertain this option. And what I would say is, if an agreement can't be reached, sell him. Be realistic. Where's he going to go? Like, answer me that question. I thank you, Rob, as well. Appreciate you getting back to me on that one, my man. Thank you. And lots of love to you, my man. Yeah, where's he going to go? Honestly, somebody answer me that. Where is he going to go? Because Real Madrid have other intentions. Barcelona want Haaland and are working on other stuff like Christensen and a few other players, and they might not even be able to afford to make a Adama Traore's move permanent because they're trying to juggle a few things around. Juventus don't have the money. Paris Saint-Germain, do you think he wants to go and play in the fucking French league week in and week out and fail in the Champions League? This is a game of brinksmanship. It's a game of leverage. It's a game of poker. It's a game of who blinks first. PSG, Bayern. Bayern aren't going to pay the money for Mohamed Salah. Bayern aren't going to pay Mohamed Salah £500,000 a week. Genuinely, like, if Liverpool sold him in the summer, PSG are probably the only option, especially as they look like they could be wanting to get rid of Neymar. But I don't think Mohamed Salah wants to go and play for PSG. Ball saying City. Well, Liverpool just won't sell him to Manchester City, mate. It's as simple as that. If he leaves in a free, then in a year's time, that's a different conversation. But why would he want to go to City? Because it would only be for that. Because Liverpool have every opportunity to win everything City are winning. I think we can agree on that at this moment in time. Liverpool City are, neck and neck for Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup. So it's not about ambition then. If it was City, it's clearly about money. And I don't believe that this is just about money for Mo. I don't think that... Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm naive here, but I don't think it's just about money. And look, if he wants £500,000 a week, I'm going to make it really blunt. Sell him. That's where I am. If he wants £500,000 a week, sell him. Because I don't think he's worth £500,000 a week. That's where I am. I honestly don't think he's worth £500,000 a week. I don't think anybody is worth £500,000 a week at 29, 30 years of age. Shout out to Botswana. How are we? Lovely to see you in the chat. Thank you so much. FIFA. I'm struggling, mate. I won't lie. I'm struggling to get back on the FIFA grind. I know I owe you guys a few streams, and I promise I'll get it done. I'll finish the season, but I have a lot going on at the minute. So yeah, but I will. I know I owe you guys some FIFA streams, so I apologise. Why would we sell Salah? If he wants £500,000 a week, if he wants 26 million quid a year, I don't think, I don't want to see him getting 26 million quid a year. I don't want to see Liverpool committing to 130 million quid for Mohamed Salah. Like, that's honestly where I'm at with it. Yeah. Even if, like, as I said, me being told it was agreed, if I found out, and I don't know the numbers, I just know it wasn't supposed to be that high, but I don't know the exact number. But if I found out that it was £500,000 a week, I would genuinely change my stance on the entire thing to say, sell him. Yeah, no, the more I think about this, the more I feel confident in saying, yes, if it's £500,000 a week, sell him. He's not worth £500,000 a week. As much as I love Mohamed Salah, as much as he is a huge figure in world football, I feel like Liverpool have played a big part to get Mohamed Salah to this situation, and I feel like if he was still at Roma, without Jurgen Klopp, without Liverpool, without his teammates, he wouldn't be getting £500,000 a week anywhere. So I think that there should be give on both sides in any negotiation, but nah, sorry, not £500,000 a week. Salah's a huge reason in your success. He's part of it, absolutely, and that's why we're willing to, talk about a record-breaking contract for the player. Absolutely, he's been. Look, I'm not sitting here trying to say Mohamed Salah hasn't been important to Liverpool Football Club. Mohamed Salah has been our talisman, without a shadow of a doubt. Mohamed Salah is a superstar. Mohamed Salah is a goal-scoring machine, but he's not the only one. He's not the only one. Is Mohamed Salah worth twice as much money and more than Virgil van Dijk is to us? Not for me. Not for me. Yeah, no, not for me. If we drop 500 bags on Salah, what will be your reaction? I suppose there's two answers to that. I would still think he's not worth it. But my second reaction would be, as a football fan, as a Liverpool Football Club fan, should I give a shit what the club pay? Like, if we know Liverpool can afford to pay it and the club are happy to pay it, should I be overly concerned with it? Probably not, but I would be. You know, it's just like me saying, oh, Liverpool have spent 30 something million quid on Diaz, or potentially 50 million quid on Diaz. It's not really my business what the club pay for him, as long as the club can afford to pay for him. But yeah, now when we see Virgil van Dijk on 220 grand a week, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz are nowhere near the not for me, not £500,000 a week. No, I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't. If he is asking for £500,000 a week, I'm gonna go and say that that's greedy. And again, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what numbers are being asked for. I haven't got a fucking clue. I'm working off numbers that you guys are putting into the chat from, I guess, social media. And also, for those people that are just jumping up and down going, give him what he wants. To a degree, yeah. Like, I'm all for giving him 350 and upwards, maybe 400 with bonuses. But I also remember the Hicks and Gillette days. And I remember the instability. And I remember sitting in my room watching TV thinking, is there going to be a Liverpool Football Club in a week, 2 weeks' time? Is the club going to become insolvent? I remember having no budget for players under Hodgson. I remember those days. And I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back there. And I'm somebody who's been very critical of FSG and will be going forward on stuff I'm not happy with, but I kind of agree that he's not worth 50 million or 500 grand a week. I don't see it. Yanu Ma said, breaking news, Salah did not sign the new contract. Now, I'm open to being corrected on this, mate. And if I did, I'm open to be corrected, but I believe I said the contract's been agreed. I don't know if I said it was signed, and if I did, then I'll hold my hands up to that. But I'm fairly certain I said it's been agreed. How much is KDB and Ronaldo on? I don't understand how that's relevant. And let me explain to you why it isn't relevant. So Kevin De Bruyne is playing for Manchester City, who don't have to run on a break-even point, who have an entire state's wealth behind them. Manchester United are a completely different kettle of fish again, because Manchester United generate a shit ton of cash and can afford to spunk Cristiano Ronaldo's wages. We can't afford to roll the dice on players. Now, look, De Bruyne, again, I think he's on 450. I think. Could be wrong. So, yeah. I mean, what Ronaldo and De Bruyne get, I don't think is comparable, because we will never pay some of the wages. Like United were paying Sanchez 400 grand a week. United paid their goalkeeper 350 grand a week. We don't have that type of money to throw around as a football club. El Scouser 8 said, as much as we don't like to say it, FSG have so far got it right, we could win the league this year. They have done a lot of good things. I've always said that, mate, in this conversation. I mean, I'll pull them up for the stuff I don't agree with, but for me to be honest and have any credibility, we have to have an open mind, and we have to look at the perspective of, yes, of course they've done things right. We've won a Champions League, a Premier League. They brought in Jurgen Klopp. Look at the growth of the club's main stands. The Annie Road end will be done. The training, all that stuff is right and was done right and was done by good owners. To me, I just can never forgive the Super League thing. That was the breaking point for me. Dan said, I agree, Salah already signed the contract. All those journalists are just playing a game to get fans on a low before they get a whole lot of Liverpool fans on a very high. I'm not going to say anything about anybody. Fabrizio Romano and other journalists are absolutely free to post their own content and post their own information. That is their job. I'm a football fan who wants Liverpool to do well. My only interest is in our football club doing well. That is it. So let me just, before we finish up this stream, because I got to leg it and I will be back at 8:45, let me just ask a question. Would you be happy with Liverpool Football Club paying Mohamed Salah 500 grand a week? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I guess that's the easiest way we can gauge this. And we'll do a poll on it later on tonight when we've got more information. But just quickly, before we finish up, would you be happy with Liverpool Football Club committing £130 million to Mohamed Salah over 5 years? Thumbs up or thumbs down? We'll see what way the chat feels. So 1, 2. I'm trying to keep track of. I mean, I'd say just gauging by the chat. 70% saying no, they wouldn't be happy with Mohamed Salah earning 500 grand a week. Some people saying they don't care, which you should care because it impacts the rest of the business. But I also understand where you're coming from when you say you don't care. Like, you just want them to stay. I get that. I'm saying that you guys are saying, am I right in saying 7 out of 10 people probably putting thumbs down or saying no? Kind of gauges like that's where we are. 400 seems to be a cut-off point for a few people in the chat. I mean, Suxy, you can't cheat and put 2 thumbs up. You've already done it once. I've seen your sneaky second one. Kevin said, let's say 63-33. Then there's a percent missing, mate. We can't be doing imperfect numbers. Most people seem, and again, you can interpret this chat, of course, but to me, I'm seeing probably a lot of people comfortable at 400. Surely that can't be through UFL game. Yeah, I'm gonna go research this. If he was younger, would I say yes? That's a good question. That is a very good question. So let me put it to you this way. I will give Kylian Mbappe £500,000 a week. Because I believe there is a chance for the club to recoup that money down the line. Because what is Kylian Mbappe now? 23 years of age? If Kylian Mbappe signed on a 4 or 5 year deal, and even if he was moved on after 3.5, 4 years, or an extension then moved on, I think we'd see a good chunk of that money back. But I don't feel comfortable committing that to a 29-year-old, almost 30-year-old, who will most certainly be the biggest and probably the last big contract of his career. So I think I would feel more comfortable giving it to somebody younger. And by somebody younger, you're only really talking about a Haaland or an Mbappe, really. Like, let's be frank. Yeah, at 23, yeah, I'd give it to Mbappe at 23 because, as I said, if he moved on at 27, I still feel like you'd get all your money back and more. And Steve, I agree with you as well. Like Steve says, Liverpool have made Mohamed Salah, not the other way around. Look, there's a bit of both in there. Mohamed Salah has also helped push us on. Of course he has. You know, Mohamed Salah has been a huge part of our success. But yeah, ultimately, I'm only interested in the club. I'm only interested in the success of our football club, not any one individual player. So if Mohamed Salah wants £500,000 a week, time to sell Mohamed Salah. That's where I am. I there's no way. And I don't know if he's asking for £500,000 a week. I don't know. Would you give Mo 720k? Well, if I'm not giving him £500,000, why the fuck would I throw another 220 on there? 720k a week. What's that? 36 million quid a year? 35 million quid a year? That's ridiculous money. Atheno said 130 mil over 5 years. If we can sell Salah for 100 million at the end of the 5 years, Nobody's buying a 35-year-old Mohamed Salah for 100 million quid, mate. Nobody. 350, 400, yes. Yeah. Look, anyway, I'm going to go find out as much information as I can. And I will be back at 8:45 tonight, my friends. I hope to see you then. Because this could be a big fucking story, you know. So I'm going to try, and look, I'll be as honest as I can be. I'm going to reach out to the same people that gave me the information, see what they're saying, or if I hear a response, and I will see you at I'll see you at 8:45 tonight, and we'll start the weekend off. And of course, tomorrow we'll have a watch along of the game on YouTube as well, starting from 12 p.m. Game kicks off at 12:30. So look, I'll talk to you guys in a couple of hours. I'll see you then. Bye.